Happy Wednesday. I think we're live. Are we live? We are. Happy Wednesday. So we are going to do a Paint Your Style for the first time in 6 weeks because the Paint Your Styles you've been seeing have been pre-recorded, and so I've not been doing them in real time, but I am back in the studio. So I'm going to sit down and paint for the first time in 6 weeks. So to start with though, we're going to use the palette that I pulled several months ago. There was a video where I did pulling from my 800 color palette for the studio palette, which colors did I think would make the best travel palette. And then I didn't actually paint while I was away, but I took the palette with me. It appeared in the What Paints Am I Taking With Me video. So I am going to try and do this week's Paint Your Style just with this palette. We're going to see if it works. It's a pretty fun color palette. I picked it because they're all colors that I use fairly frequently, and most of them granulate, and I think that'll be an asset in this. So we're going to get into it. I have paintbrushes, I have a pen, I have a palette. Literally, my travel Tintorettos are still capped because I took stuff to paint with me. I just didn't paint while I was away. So we are going to flip this page like this, shove all these brushes off to the side. I don't know that I'll need my Galen leather ruler, but I might. I'm so out of practice having my desk set up the way I want it to be set up. So we've also got the Sailor Follow the Mermaid as my pen this week. It is currently on sale. I believe at both Atlas and Goldspot. I don't know that Atlas has any left, but I think they might in the Pro Gear. This is the Pro Gear Slim, but I think they might still have some Pro Gears left. And I believe Goldspot still has them, or they did, I think, last night when I looked. So let's get into Paint Your Style. Taping out this border. I'm so out of practice here, but it should be fun to actually sit down and paint again. Is that straight? No. Also, the lighting's awful. One of my light bulbs burnt out while we were away. And so we're just gonna have to live with awkward lighting. Does this one still work? Yeah, sort of. Okay. We're gonna go with lighting that sort of works, but doesn't really. Let's throw my next tape line in. Right here. And right here. I'm realizing I've set this up really badly because the paint palette's on one side and my palette's on the other side. And we're just gonna make it work. Do I have a pipette? I do have a pipette. Look at me go. It's gonna be really fun to figure out what all these colors actually are. I know some of them off the top of my head, but I don't know all of them. And I did switch to want to say I switched 2 from that original set I put together. So let's start with the sky. Which is very blue. We're very blue. Thought I had, oh I do. Nope. All right. Let's dry off that brush. Let's also dry that. Sorry about that. You had to briefly see the ceiling. That's fun. All right, let's go with our light green to be the ground, which is going to be this. But I'm going to mix it with a titch of turquoise. That was too much turquoise. So I'm going to keep that green color. I'm going to want that green color to be my like shadow green. But really, as always, the important thing is getting my green masked down, because then I can sort of layer in some other greens. Like making this path a little less sharp. You know, making the foliage look foliagey. Because now we're going to go in with a little bit of darker green. And we're going to go in with with this really dark one. And I have just created a path with dimension with just a couple greens and some blue. All right, let's dry that. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab this brush, which is very pink. The question is it just stained pink or is there pink in it? There is pink in it. You're less pink. Okay. Now what I need is to create my rock color for the path. So we're going to take some of that. I'm going to add some of that to it. And we're going to add a little bit of this to it. And we're not going to mix it up too much, and you'll see why. Because what I want is this like textured speckly path. I want there to be depth to it. And we're also going to touch that green in a couple spots because I want those lines to blur. You want there to be some depth in this path. The easiest way to do that is to let a little bit of the green blend in. Really, I should have done the path first, but I didn't. So what we're gonna do is just like paint it a little bit because these greens are gonna move a tiny bit, and that's what we want. Because we want to be able to fake dimension in this path. Basically, this palette, I created it the way I did because it was really good at faking a whole bunch of the granulating colors I love to paint with. And it made it really easy to add texture, which is what I wanted in a palette. I wanted something that I could pull and go, here's texture. And that's what I created with this set. I just didn't paint while I was away because there was a lot of other stuff to do. And there's this. All right, let's try that. All right, up next is a tree. It's a tree, it's a tree, it's a tree. And it's not quite black. Make a big pile of this, and we're going to do all the trees in this same color, which I think is Pebble. I'm going to go with that it's Cosmic Creations Pebble, but I might be wrong. I'm going to start with a 0. I think I'm probably going to want to drop down a size. All right. Starts. Here. Oh, trees are not my strong suit. I just screwed up this painting. I don't paint trees for a reason. It was going so well until it wasn't. All right. I have screwed this up royally. I don't I don't like painting trees. Actually, they're fine. They're just hard after I haven't painted for 6 weeks. All right, let's dry that and hope that adding a whole bunch of green redeems it. All right, we're gonna start with the very pale green. And then we're going to move on to something darker. But we're going to start pale, and we're just going to layer. And that's how we're going to fix this mess. Is that we're just going to do a whole bunch of little dots to be leaves. And we're just gonna keep layering in different shades of green. I always forget how hard painting is again after weeks away. Always underestimate how hard it is to get back into it. Right now it just looks like a bit of a hot mess. But I don't know that that's going to change. Oh, this is not a great paint your style. I don't feel like I'm winning your paint your style this week. This is not going particularly well. I would describe this as a bit of a hot mess. Oh, we might actually have a paint your style repaint. Those are rare. But I honestly don't know that I can save this. All right. Well, for the first time in a very long time, we are having a repaint of a paint your style, which almost never happens. I think this is maybe my second one this year. But that was a bit of a hot mess. So now that my brain's actually thinking like an artist again, let's see if this goes any better. Because honestly, the first bit I was quite happy with. Like I'm happy with the sky. I'm happy with the ground. It just went unpleasant after that. Is how we'll call it. We will call it unpleasant instead of calling it a hot mess disaster. So, for take 2, I've ripped my tape. Not the way I wanted to. I think I need a nap today before I film 20 questions tonight. All right. Okay, take two. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be fine. Okay, so let's wet down for the sky again, because I really liked how I did the sky last time. Which was slightly damp. And then just going in with some of that and with some of this. To create a very blue and textured sky. It's just, you know, fun. All right, let's try that. Sorry about that. I am so out of practice, I didn't even realize this thing was muted. So, here's where I screwed up last time. So, how do I want to do this? Do I have a pencil? Can I just leave it treeless? Here's where I royally screwed up last time. Hence how we're almost at the 40-minute mark, and I have just done a background because this is the second one of this video, because the first one is not good. So okay, we're gonna abandon everything but the tree that comes out over here with the branches that come down. So, pencil. I feel like I have a pencil. The question is, there it is. The question at the moment is it unpacked or not? And, well, it isn't the one I'm looking for. It is a pencil. All right. These are actually going to go over here. Do I know where there's an eraser is the next question. The answer to that might be no. It's not an eraser. That is an eraser. Fabulous. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift these branches 8 inches. But not actually 8 inches. More like 8 millimeters. All right. Do I want to do these in paint or do I want to do them in ink? I sort of want to do them in black ink. All right. Let's put in the leaves first. We've got a light leaf color. We've got a dark leaf color we're creating. Let's do this thing. And then I'm going to mask it. I'm going to draw in the tree branches in black pen. Mostly because that just seems a bit easier than anything else. And honestly, because this is the second paint of this piece, we're choosing easy and fun over, you know, serious and practical. And sometimes that happens. And if that isn't how you like to paint, well, welcome to my channel. Where we try and do paint your styles in 30 minutes or less normally, and we never repaint them. And yet this week, we're doing both. Because I really didn't like the final product. So now we need the dark greeny black. All right, let's try this. We're gonna throw in one more layer of what I'm gonna call highlight green. So these little blobs now have quite a lot of dimension going on with them. All right, let's grab a black pen. So this pen has Sailor Permanent Black in it, so Sailor Kirigiro in it, and it's the only black ink I own. So we are going to use it to make our little branches. Tree branches, not my forte. Fountain pens can just like sometimes not want to go down over certain pigments. And I always forget that they don't really like, I think it's the Cobalt Green Deep that this ink doesn't really like going down over top of. Well, it's still not quite the reference picture, but I do like it better than my first attempt. There's attempt number 1. So attempt number 2 did go significantly better. And I think we're just going to call that good. So let's peel the tape. And let's create a swatch card. So this is the Legion Stonehenge warm white paper in the mini pad size. I get mine from Jackson's, who I have an affiliate for down below, and if it's your first order with them, you get 10% off. Let's start here. I know what this is. This is Buzzy Bee from Cosmic. It's going to be fun because I don't have these pans labeled, and I don't think I've got a labeled swatch card for these pans. So I'm not actually going to be able to label all of these swatches off the top. This is P from Cosmic. Would be bad if I didn't know which ones were Laura's paints. This is Jasper Stardust Cobalt Green Deep. This is Misty Morning by Cosmic. One of my favorite colors Laura makes. I'm almost done my pan of it. This is, I want to say Lapis, which is Cosmic's Ultramarine Blue. Yeah, that's Lapis. Then we have Buttercup by Cosmic, which has been contaminated by something pink. We have Yellow Ochre. I want to say this is the Winsor Newton one, but it could also be Daniel Smith's Burgundy Yellow Ochre, but I don't think it is. We have Daniel Smith. I want to say this is Raw Umber. we have, this is Pebble. I think that's Cosmic Pebble. And Lunar Black by Daniel Smith. So let's label these. We have this is a DS. This is Cosmic Buttercup. Ah, Winsor Nude and Yellow Ochre. I was right. That's my first guess. That it was the Winsor Newton one. And it is Pebble. Good for me. Pebble. And it is Raw Umber. All right. Well, I wouldn't say that's the most successful paint your style I've ever done. It doesn't really look like the reference image, but I have done worse paint your styles, and it has been 6 weeks since I've painted. So I'm going to count it as a win and move on with my day, because there's no point in sitting here and just thinking about it. It just sort of takes time to get back into the rhythm of painting, and it's not all going to happen at once. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Paint Your Style, and then watching me repaint this week's Paint Your Style, because I didn't like the original one. I hope it was slightly entertaining, and also, you know, showed that even I don't always get things on the first try. Yes, normally Paint Your Style is a single challenge, and I only paint it once. That doesn't always happen. And this was a good example of like something really not going well and realizing that, you know, maybe I should just try it again. Hello. I've just finished my first Paint Your Style live in 6 weeks, and it was rough. Yeah, take 1, take 2. Take 2 still doesn't look like the reference image, but it's better than the first one. My brain's not there. I'm gonna have to play around with Paint Your Style a bit more. I might paint it for a 3rd time, but I am gonna post the second one. Because there are elements of it that I really like. I just don't like it in its entirety. So I'm not going to repaint it for a 3rd time now, though. I think that would be too much. So we're just going to leave it at this and get on with the rest of today. but it was fun to finally paint with the color palette I took on vacation with me, seeing as I didn't actually paint while I was away. So it was fun to use that. It was good to sit down and actually paint again, but it is clearly going to take a little bit for my brain to just get back into the swing of painting. Let me know if I should do next week's Paint Your Style with the same color palette. I think it would be fun to keep using it for paintings and for pieces, because I really didn't use it. I used it when I created it, but I didn't use it for pieces I posted, and so you guys never really saw it in action. But I also don't know if anyone remembers that video, so I could keep using it, or I could like put them away and pull a fall color palette. So let me know your thoughts, and either I will put them away or I will keep them and save the fall color palette for a few weeks. It's still fairly warm here. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and let me know if I should repaint this for a third time, because I might.